Welcome to topic 6 of the introduction to Python. And this topic is about dictionaries. So dictionaries are another data type in Python. We've already looked at lists in this course. So what actually is a dictionary? Well, when we think of dictionaries, we can think of a book that we can look up that has a list of words in it. And we get different types of dictionaries for Spanish, for example, or for English, but we can also have things like medical dictionaries, law dictionaries. So in programming, a dictionary has this concept of a key value pair. Okay, so a key value pair is sometimes referred to as an attribute value pair, or a name value pair, or a field value pair. And it's quite a fundamental thing in computing, a fundamental data representation. So a key value pair allows us to map, and it's sometimes called a mapping type. It allows us to map a key with a value. And this sort of pixelated example I came up illustrates a simple outlay of this. So we have a first name key, and then some value associated with that. We have a last name key, some value, and we have a location key and some value associated with that. Here we have an example of a phone book, and we have some keys, and the keys in the case of the phone book are names: John Smith, Lisa Smith, and Sandra D. And those keys are associated with some value. And that value in the case of the phone book just happens to be a telephone number. Okay, so how do we represent this in Python? So in Python, the mapping data type is called a dictionary, and it's a collection which is unordered, changeable, and indexed. Okay, and in Python, dictionaries are written using curly brackets. Okay, the curled brace. So my data would be the name that we're going to give this dictionary variable, equals, and then opening up these curly braces, curly brackets, tells Python that we're about to declare a dictionary. We're about to provide a dictionary, okay? And the dictionary, we have the key, then we have a colon, and we have the value. And each of these is in quotes. And each item in the dictionary is separated using a comma. Okay, and the dictionary is closed in the same way that it is opened with this curled brace here. Okay, and when we want to print it out, we print it out just like any other variable. Okay, we just print my data. Now, if all we had to do was make dictionaries and print the whole thing out, then that would be the end of this topic. But that doesn't really allow us to get the full value out of this data type. So here I've created an example dictionary, and this is an example Pokemon dictionary. So here we have a dictionary called Pokemon_dictionary, okay, and equals will assign this dictionary to this variable name. And then we open up the curled braces, and then we have some values. So we have a name is the key, Bulbasaur is the value. Then we have a type, and the type of Pokemon is grass. And then in the Pokedex, this is 001. We have a color key, color value, a generation key, and a generation value. Now, I will say in advance, I don't know if this is correct. Okay, I'm not a Pokemon expert. I just thought it was a good example to use. I don't know if Bulbasaur is generation 1 and 001 in the Pokedex. I think he is grass, or she is grass. So don't quote me on this exact information. Now, let's print this out, and what will come out at the bottom is the whole dictionary here, like this. All right, so there's an example of creating and printing a dictionary. So let's look at how we can perform some kind of an operation on the dictionary. So here we have a for loop. Okay, and I've put the dictionary in smaller text up at the top here. So for X in Pokemon Dictionary, print X. And what that will do is that will only print out the keys in the dictionary, such as name, type, Pokedex, color, generation. Okay. For X in Pokemon Dictionary, print Pokemon Dictionary, and then placing X in square brackets will print out the values in the dictionary. Okay. And given that we're going to loop over the dictionary using this X variable, what you're telling the computer to do is, with the for loop, is take each, shall we say, entry in the dictionary and then do something to it. So we're saying for X in Pokemon Dictionary, get the Pokemon Dictionary and grab each one out. And as you take each one out of that dictionary, temporarily we want you to call it X. Okay? So pull it out, have it in your hand, it's X, and then do something to it. And in this case, we're going to print X. Okay, we're going to print it out, and then that's the end. Okay? Or we're going to print the values only. Okay? Sometimes you'll see for KV in dictionary, and all that means is key value, if you see that in an example. So let's have a look here, right? Print values. So you can print the values method just to print the values. So the example I've given you here is you could run this with the X in square brackets. There is an actual built-in kind of Python tool for doing this. And you can do for X in the dictionary dot values and then open up these parens to call the dot values function and then print X. Okay, so those are just some simple dictionary operations. So before we go and do questions, let me just grab my Python editor here. And what I'll actually do is I'll open up idle, because I've got the font nice and big on idle so that we can see it clearly. So here, right, we'll do a new Python file. Okay, right. Let's make a quick dictionary. So I'm going to try and think of something quickly to make a dictionary. So let's call it my dictionary, and then press equals. And then all we need to do to create the dictionary, we could create a blank dictionary by doing that. But let's just open up a dictionary now, okay? And let's put some things into the dictionary. So unfortunately, I always come up with very boring examples. So I was going to do a car dictionary just like we had here. So let me just do this just to show you how straightforward this is. Let's have a look. So we've got name, type, Pokedex, color, generation. Let's just grab idle over here and see if we can recreate this, and I'll show you how straightforward this is. So let's first of all create our first key, name, okay? And let's call the name John. And then let's do, okay, age. And what age will John be? Let's make John 25. All right, and then let's do one more thing. Hometown. And where will we make John from? Let's say John is from, make that a proper colon, not a semicolon. Let's say John is from Leith. All right, even though Leith is technically in Edinburgh. Let's not get started on that. Anger a few people. Okay, so let's close off the dictionary here. And then let's just run an operation to print out my dictionary. And let's just see what the output of this is like. All right, so close this off. Press F5, click OK, give it a name. Okay, there we go. We've printed out John. We've printed out the keys and values in the dictionary. Now, something to notice is when I entered these, I used these quotes, but when Python prints it out, it uses them. I think what we can determine from that is that those are not that important. It's just as long as there's something to close off the key or the value. If it's a string. Another thing to notice is I didn't have to put them around the integer. Okay, just like we don't have to do that when we define a variable. Okay, so that prints out the whole dictionary. So let's do a little operation on it. Let's do for item in my dictionary. Okay, let's print item. So rather than printing the whole dictionary as one, let me just comment that out and let's just run that and see what we get. Okay, so that for item in my dictionary only gives us the keys in the dictionary: name, age, and hometown. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is see if we can get the values out. And I think we can get the values by doing print my dictionary and then in square brackets put item. Don't quote me on this. This is just from memory. Click OK. There we go. Look at that, John. So there's a way to get the keys and a way to get the values. I should probably put two examples there just to make our lives a wee bit easier. So let's do. So this would be print the whole dictionary. Dictionary. This would be print the keys, print the values, and we'll make this one print the keys. Okay, and we'll change this back to just printing item there. So if I rerun this, we should have the whole dictionary printing out, the values printing out, the keys printing out over here. So let's just do OK. And there's the whole dictionary, there's the values, there's the keys. Okay, so what we're doing is we're saying for key value in my dictionary dot items, if val equals value, okay, return key. So let's define val up here. Val equals John. And let's run this and see what, and you know what we'll do? We'll turn these off so that we just see what happens down here. So let's run this. Click OK. Return outside function. Oh, change that to print. Print key. Run. Haha, that's working. Okay, that's working. That's returning name. So I reckon if I change that to print value, it'll return John. Let's click F5. Okay, there we go, John. So what this is doing is this is looping over the key and value in the dictionaries, and we can put in here in our print statement, I found the value, and then put a wee comma and click. Let me just make this slightly wider so you can see it. Okay, so found the value there, and click run, and it'll print out I found the value. And let's just put that there to make it separate them out. Click OK. So there we go. We've searched through our nonsense dictionary to find this value and key. And what we're doing there with a for loop is we're looping over the key and the value, and we can see that Python understands key and value. Okay, that's why they're called key value pairs. So that is the end of this topic. I'll show you what the problem set is for this week, and then we can do, I'll stop the recording and we can do questions. So this week's homework is obviously problem set 6, because this is topic 6, and I will show you that right now. So don't be intimidated by the size of this, but this is problem set 6. Okay, so you're thinking, well, where's the questions? What's this? What's all this? Right, this is actually a dictionary I created called Poke Dictionary, which is a dictionary of all the Pokemon, right? Now, again, I'm not an expert in Pokemon, so this might be wrong, but as you can see, Bulbasaur does have the key of 1. So I think I might be right that Bulbasaur is 001 in the Pokedex. So let me zoom out on this, and I'll show you that this is just, imagine this as just being above. We're going to do some operations on this large dictionary. I told you dictionaries could be big. You know, now you're not going to say, well, we'll just scan through it by eye. and find it. And dictionaries can't just be like this. Dictionaries can be thousands and thousands of entries. Okay, so it's very useful to be able to do operations on them. Right, so let's scroll down and have a look at problem set 6. So you've got a dictionary, okay, and the dictionary is called Poke Dictionary. All right, and in there we have keys and values, and the keys are the number, and the value is the name. So there's 116 horsey, okay, 117 cedra, which I believe is an evolved horsey, I think. Right, let's scroll down past all these ones and look at problem set 6. Right, so the first task is to save this Python script in your code folder, if you have a code folder. If you don't, just save it on the desktop like all the other files on your computer and call it Untitled 1 brackets 1 brackets 1, however many Untitled Chapter. Right, okay. Question 1. Print out all the keys in the dictionary. And no prizes for guessing what question 2 is. Print out all the values in the dictionary. Question 3. Put question 1 and 2 together. Print out all the keys and values in the dictionary. Right, so those 3, I should hope, will be straightforward for you. Questions 4, 5, and 6 are a little bit more complicated. So, question 4. Use a for loop to find only values that start with the letter B. Okay? Then, use a for loop to find only values that end with the letter R. Like, for example, I can think of one straight away, Bulbasaur. Okay? And the last question, find out how many of the letter Y are in the whole of the dictionary. So how many letter Ys do we have? And you might need to use some kind of accumulator variable for that, something that counts. You might have to increment a count variable. So that is problem set 6, and that is topic 6.